back with another video, guys. We got Gen Z is getting old. I feel like I had to do this, bro, cause this is my generation, and I can't fathom what's happening, bro. Cause now I got the kids that was like 5 years old that I've been watching. They like 16. So let's just get to the video, bro.
Gen Z consists of people who are born between the years 1995 and 2012. Me personally, I was born in
2012? That's considered Gen Z? Really? That's a wide gap.
2004, which I guess would be the second half of Gen Z. And
okay, wait, go back. Generation Alpha. Dang. Zoomers? We're called Zoomers? 1997 to 2012. Dang.
Gen Z, and I'm 20 years old already. I'm not sure it takes somebody with a PhD in human sciences to figure out that if you're Gen Z, bro, it's time to admit the hard truth. We are Unc status.
No. No, bro, I can't fathom it, bro. I can't. Literally, I got kids calling me Unc Now, bro. I'm 23. Am I really Unc? Am I really? I ain't even experienced life yet. I'm just getting started.
You could care less if you're 15 years old or if you're 30. We as Gen Z are in this together. So if I'm feeling bad about being old, then you should too. You know what type of mentality that is that I have? The Unc mentality. Maybe it's just because I'm salty of the things that I would say when I was younger. I remember back when I was in elementary school, I would constantly say, I wish I was older. But you know, now
it sucks. It sucks. I wish I was younger. This adults and stuff is ghetto, bro. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
I'm out of school. I'm a grown man with hair on my balls. I'm slowly starting to realize that's possibly one of the dumbest things I've ever said. I mean, when I was a kid, I didn't really have much to worry about.
Nothing.
All I would need to do was go to school, come home, watch cartoons, and go to sleep. But now that I'm
literally, my life consisted of going to school, getting that homework done before it gets dark outside, and going outside. And that was it. You get your stuff done, maybe have a test, study the night before, then repeat the same cycle. Now we gotta do all this other stuff. Ain't nothing planned.
I'm older, I gotta worry about taxes, health insurance, paying
groceries.
the government coming to my house to look for my outstanding warrant. Yo, what the heck? Basically, what I'm trying to say is that you had nothing to worry about when you were a kid. And now that I'm thinking back to all the things that I used to complain about when I was younger, bro,
but at the same time, bro, you couldn't do nothing when you were younger. Like, you couldn't leave the house when you were younger without telling your parents. You can't walk down the street without telling your parents. You can't drink, you can't do nothing, you can't vote, you can't do nothing when you're younger, though.
You're just complaining about a whole lot of nothing. Aw, why are you crying? You don't want to go to school? Well, don't worry, because in 10 years, you gotta pay $8,000 worth of taxes to the IRS. When I was young,
talk about school debt, too. Talk about that.
I thought being a grown-up was the best possible thing on planet Earth. I thought you didn't have to worry about anything else. No more being told what to do. You had the freedom to do whatever you wanted. So imagine my disappointment when I reach adulthood and I find out that it's illegal to drink 6 beers and then go for a joyride.
Okay, see, now he's just maxing. We don't condone drinking and driving. Call an Uber.
In fact, there's a lot of things that I wish I knew about adulthood when I was younger. I don't know, you'd think that the school system would at least try to teach you what being an adult is like.
They teach you nothing. Oh my gosh. They teach you nothing, bro. You go to school for almost all your, not even all your life, maybe like 18 years of your life, I guess. Not even that. No, it's like 18. If you go to college, maybe 20. You start school maybe like 3-ish, 2-ish. Then go to school all the way to 18. Then to high school, then about 18 or 17 to like 21, 22 to college. Looking at a wide range of school. And you don't learn about life until you get into college. And then when you get into college, you're doing your major. And then when you're doing your major, you're not even doing most of your major classes. you're just paying for classes. You're paying for maybe a couple of your actual few of your major classes, and then you got a whole bunch of electives that sometimes mean nothing, absolutely nothing.
You're going there to learn. But no, instead of leaving school knowing actual things that will help me in my day-to-day life for the next 60 years, I instead left knowing how many apples Susie has after giving some to Mike. Officer, I'm not allowed to speed in a school zone. Allow me to tell you about the Pythagorean theorem. I don't know how to do
He was going to say the Pythagorean. I still never used the Pythagorean theorem a day in my life yet. No PEMDAS. I ain't never used no PEMDAS. Good. I ain't never used no PEMDAS. Nothing. I ain't need to know when Christopher Columbus came to America, because apparently that was a lie. What else is a lie in America, bro?
change a tire whatsoever, but hey, you know, I'm pretty good at geometry dash. The older up in age I start to get, the more I'm kind of starting to realize that 90% of adults have absolutely no idea what they're doing. Like, if you meet somebody who is freshly 18, right, and they're talking about all these different adult things, essentially just acting older than they are, I want you guys to know there's a big chance that it's a load of hooey.
It's a load of nothing. They know nothing. When I was 18, bro, I knew nothing. Absolutely nothing. I still know nothing. I still don't know what goes on in the world. I'm just going day by day.
Down and think back to when I was 18 years old, the first thing that comes to mind is how much I've changed. I mean, I feel like a completely different person. For example, I created this YouTube channel literally 3 days after my 18th birthday, and I was fresh out of high school. And the type of content that I was making was very 18-year-old coded, let's say.
Okay, now I just want to say I am not the biggest or partaker in the big ol' marriage.
Okay, let's move on. That was terrible. And now that I'm 20 years old, I'm being way more productive. I'm watching all of Skibbity Toilet for 5 hours. Isn't that great? I mean, for the first like 6-7 years of your adulthood, you're not even really a functioning member of society yet. You're still figuring out how to do all these new things. I mean, think of it. You got stuff like moving out for the first time, getting your first car, man, even finding a job. Now, I know this
sucks out here. But our generation cooked it for us. I don't know how they cooked it, but you can't buy a crib that's not 3 bands, 2 bands for a studio. You can't go to the grocery store without it being $70 for a pack of noodles and chips. You want to buy a car? Go ahead drop about 10, 20 bands on a car that got 100K miles on it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like the last generation cooked us, but I hope we can survive.
Next statement is definitely gonna sound like I'm making a big excuse for a lot of Gen Z, which it is, but the majority of us were locked inside for like 3 years. Now, no matter where you are,
literally 3 years, bro. Everybody became different after COVID. Everybody got facial hair. Puberty hit some people. Not me. I'm too old for that. Yeah, COVID cooked us. COVID cooked us.
Within the age spectrum,
that literally happened. This literally happened right before our eyes. We became old. Everybody was old after COVID.
Whether you're 70 years old or 10 years old, you got to admit that this must have some type of detriment, right? For a couple years, we were literally not allowed to go outside. It's still crazy to wrap my head around the fact that quarantine wasn't 2 or 3 years ago. This was 5 years ago. It's crazy to think that we're closer to 2030 than we are to the very...
That was 5 years. Dang, it is 2020. I mean, it is 2025. That happened 2020. God. Dang, we really are old. We might be cooked, chat.
Very first case of said illness that caused the lockdown. And it's because of that a lot of us didn't have the same experiences that our parents or even some of your older siblings may have. For example, a lot of Gen Z weren't able to have jobs when they were teenagers. And that's because they were locked inside their house. You were literally not allowed to work at a store. Now, thankfully, I was lucky enough to be able to get my first job when I was 16, almost immediately after lockdown. I worked at a Marshall's for about 1.5 years as a cashier
that didn't
year,
last
and
long.
I met a
Yeah.
crazy amount of people who were like 20, 22 years old, and that was their first job. Of course, though, when working that job, you also had to deal with your fair amount of old people. And I'm gonna be the one with big enough balls to say it because apparently nobody has said it enough. Why are old people such dicks to Gen Z? Like, when I was working at this cashier job, the amount of old people that I would encounter that would just belittle us was ridiculous. Old people are
Bruh.
old people. They don't like any generation below them, or really anything for that matter.
They don't like anything, bro. They think y'all got y'all fancy iPads. We had to, if we wanted to go talk to somebody, we had to actually go to their house. We had to hit the little. Old people just mad we got nice stuff.
They hate millennials, they hate Gen X, but for some reason, they seem to really hate Gen Z. You have old people left and right telling Gen Z that we just simply don't work hard enough. And
They say that too. They say that a lot. They say we don't work hard at all. It's not my fault we was born in this time. Y'all brought us here. We ain't asked to be here.
Trouble being successful. Meanwhile, they were somehow able to afford an entire 5-bedroom house at the age of 21 by simply...
Bro, they was buying cribs for like $100, bro. And bro, you want a crib nowadays, bro? Two to 4 bands, no question. They buying cribs with a lemonade stand for $100.
running a lemonade stand. And yes, I am gonna play the victim. Look at the price of a McDonald's burger.
Oh my gosh. A fillet of fish, a cheeseburger, 33 cents. Bro, you know what I could do with 33 cents for a cheeseburger? You know how many cheeseburgers I can get? 26 cents for a French? My inner big back is calling out to this. Large order of fries, 46 cents, man. Bro. See, inflation, hot chocolate, 15 cents, bro. Bro, I got that sitting around bro. Coca-Cola root beer, 15 cents. All right, come on now, y'all. Come on, boomers. This price is ridiculous. Now let's see ours.
Versus 2000.
Bro. Come on. Okay, where's the fries, bro? We can compare. $2. $2 latte, cappuccino. And McDonald's don't even have a dollar menu anymore. It's a freaking value menu. This is how you know we're cooked. Bro, okay, there it is. The fillet of fish is $4 compared to a fillet 48 cents. Come on, America. Come on, guys. I know it's pretty big back of me, but it gets to a point.
70 versus 2000.
Yeah, 48 cents to $4. A chicken. Where's the cheeseburger? $6 for a quarter pounder compared to, did it go back? Okay, 1/4 pounder, 60 cents. Then let's go to the big 2025 probably.
70 versus 2.
$5, $6, double cheeseburger, $7. This is ridiculous.
2025. Bro, I gotta ask Birdie to pay for my Chick-fil-A, and you think that I'm able to afford a house on my own? I like to cope and tell myself that maybe old people are simply just jealous of the things that we have.
I just said that. They are jealous.
Think of it. Gen Z growing up had all different types of technology. We had iPads, PlayStations. Now, what did old people have to entertain themselves?
A yo-yo and a freaking comb, a ball, a string, something.
With 3
sticks
and a copy of Huckleberry Finn? Bro, I ain't gonna lie, if I had to read this boring, I'd be pissed off too. What's still crazy to me is that Gen Z had access to all of this different type of technology. It was so easily accessible, we were essentially just guinea pig. I mean, I think back to my first ever electronic gaming system, and that was the DS. I remember
elite. My dream was probably the PSP. That PSP got me through everything. I went PSP, and then the DS, and then I think the Vita, and then that's when I got to consoles, and then I got my first phone after that. Probably got the iPhone, what was it, the 4S, like 7th grade.
I used to play Mario and Nintendogs on my DS all the time. Sometimes it brings a tear to my eye when I think about where my
Bro, this is
Nintendogs
so
are
crazy.
today. I used to stay up past my bedtime and take care of my Nintendogs, and when my parents would walk in my
Bro,
room, I would
bro.
put my
Bruh,
DS under.
let me know if you did this. When you were younger, you had your PSP or Nintendo. It was probably like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock on a school night. You on that joint. Next thing you know, you hear them footsteps. You chuck that joint, you go knocked out. And you better make sure you knocked out and that PSP or DS is hidden, because if it's found, you done for. Just let me know if you did that when you was younger. We all did it.
Under my pillow. Now, I like to think that this is a universally shared Gen Z
Universal.
experience. Until I was on TikTok a couple days ago, and someone made a video talking about this, and all the comments are Gen Alpha asking, "What's a DS?" Bro, I sat there
Oh,
looking at my
wow.
phone screen like, I don't seem to be in the best mood, and that's because I'm not. I wish I truly would have taken my younger body for granted. And keep in mind, I'm only 20 years old, which in the grand scheme of things in my life really isn't anything at all. So then tell me, why the hell am I only 20 years old and I'm already starting to get back pain? Allow me to get
It's
a little
bad,
bit
bro.
vulnerable with you guys.
Everything hurts. You hoop. Like, I hoop for like probably 3 hours and I'd be done for. And then somebody asks me to hoop later. No. I needed 2 days to recover. Stop hooping on back-to-back days.
Literally just yesterday, I was taking a shower and I dropped the soap.
Hey,
Whoa.
yo. Pause. Time out.
Oh, whoa. Not that type of vulnerable. Chill out. And as I'm bending to pick up the soap, you know, I'm arching my back in a
yo.
weird way. I feel a sudden pain in my back, which then causes me to slip and fall down inside of my
All
shower.
right, see.
Now, this seems like something that would usually happen to somebody who's 70 years old, right? Like an
Ain't nobody slipping in the shower. I ain't never ever in my life. Ever. Bar that, I ain't never done that.
old person. You do hear stories all the time of old people falling down in the shower. But 20 years old? Are we serious? I'm not going to be 70 years old for another 50 years. I really wish that I could say this was a singular isolated incident, but it's not. In the past 2 years, I've fallen down in the shower probably 3 times. Now, I don't possibly know what could be causing my back pain.
See,
maybe it's because I hunch over a
everything
computer screen
nostalgic
looking
for
like a
Gen Z.
Reddit
Ooh, I
mod
would
all
watch
day.
that.
That's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know if you want to see more. And yep, I'll see you next time. Bye.
It was a great vid, bro. Hey, yo, get this off the screen.
Yeah.
I would watch this, but I ain't watching no hour video, bro. I do that in my off time. But that was a W vid. It just proved that I'm old now. That's all that I was shown. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Tokimon. You just showed that I'm old now. We all old, but we gonna be old together. I'll walk with you. We can be old together. But that's gonna get this vid out the way. We'll be back.